Good evening, viewers. Thank you so much for joining us on JCTV Africa as we are watching what is happening in Zimbabwe and everything that is happening around uh, in our political sphere. Now, today we are going to be looking at a number of issues, but before we go to our main story of the day of the tankers on the road and Chabangu getting fired, let us look at the main headlines of what has been transpiring throughout the day. Let me bring you up to speed. Now, there is the story of Jacob Mafume happening in the city of Harare, which is very, very concerning. What is concerning is the amount of money that they are collecting. If you are a Hararian or if you're a motorist, you are aware of what is happening in the city of Harare. If parking in the city of Harare is just a nightmare, even in most other cities. If you've been living in South Africa like me, you know that Harare is just one city which is a nightmare to park. And for your own information, what is happening with Justice Cheda's commission that is going on, it has been joined by our political analyst, uncovered Elliot that Kajume. Elliot, how it has been uncovered that there is the money that people are paying for, that was being paid for parking in 2023. All of it, 1 million of that money, it was used to purchase 4 Fortuners in the city of Harare. Just imagine for them to claim your car and collect money after that they go and buy Fortuners. They don't give you service back into the city. No, they go and buy Fortuners. Very, very, very deplorable what is happening in the city of Harare. Then secondly, what is happening is after E.D. Mnangagwa, our president, has declared that he is going to stay he's not going to stay for the third term, and did that presser at the State House and called all those editors. We then had to find out that, okay, there is now these people, they've changed the tune. They are now calling themselves persuaders for ED. So earlier on, I had an interview with Elliot Kajume, our political analyst, just looking at these stories, which is one of our main story. And let's just take a listen to the interview that I had with Elliot Kajume earlier on, where we're looking at these whole stories that are making the headlines. So please stay tuned as we have that interview that we had with Elliot Kajume earlier on, so that you hear his perspective on the story of the third term. Political analyst Elliot Kajume. Elliot, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, my brother, and I really appreciate it coming back again. And good evening to our viewers once again.
All right, let's look at the presser, which came as a shocker to a lot of people. What is your thoughts on what President E.D. Mnangagwa said, that he is not going to seek another mandate and that he is content with the 2 terms? Does this surprise you, or this comes as a decoy?
Uh, you know, there's no sincerity in that press that Mnangagwa held yesterday. There's no sincerity at all. Whatever that he said yesterday is not the first time that he has said it. He said it probably it's the 5th time that he has said that thing which he said yesterday. I don't think what he said is what people wanted to hear. What people actually wanted to hear is, why is he not stopping those who are campaigning or those who are making noise about the 2030 agenda? If he is so sincere and a constitutionalist, as he says, why is he not stopping his handymen, the people that are around him, that are shouting 2030 Wanengi? Those even today who have labeled themselves the persuaders, why is he not stopping them if he is so sincere? Because if he has said that he is not interested, and those people are saying they are going to persuade him, and they're even campaigning for it, it means those people, they are breaking the law.
Yes.
Because as the law says, the president is supposed to serve 2 terms, and the president is assured the nation that is going to serve 2 terms. So why are those people continuing with that? And I was so much surprised yesterday that from all the editors who were there, no one even asked why he is not stopping those that are campaigning for him. So to me, that press site was just a rehearsed, it was just a rehearsed drama that he's just doing. And I can assure you, all the questions they were asking, uh, they were not from their own head. It was a rehearsed theatrics which was happening yesterday. There was nothing so peculiar about it. There was no sincerity in it, like I said.
All right. Looking at what he said, in his response, he has said that they have got a democratic right to express themselves within the confines of the party. Does that hold any water in terms of how party politics is supposed to be run? Because we have other people inside ZANU-PF who are opposed to this idea, and he is saying they are within their democratic right.
No, to be frank, if your democratic right is infringing the right of another person, it doesn't become a democratic right. And what is more democratic in Zimbabwe is the constitution. That is what we need to follow. The constitution says the president serves 2 terms. If you listen to this war veteran who has been making a lot of noise, he said, if we is the constitution is us who made it, we can tear it apart in order to allow that which we desire, to extend the term of the president. That is the most undemocratic thing you can ever say. And it's not a democratic right to advocate for the disbandment of the constitution. To tear the constitution is not a democratic right. The constitution which was voted for by the majority of the Zimbabwean people, and to just wake up and say it's my democratic right to say we want to extend the term limits and change the constitution. No, it doesn't make sense. That is not democracy. Democracy is the rule of law, following that which the law states. That is democracy. It's not ruled by the law, where those or where some other people are above the law and some are under the law, and those that are above the law are controlling those which are under the law. That is not democracy. Democracy is following that which we have as the law, and that law should be able to guide and lead everyone, and it's not supposed to be tiered. That is what I would say on that.
All right. Now let's move to what has been happening in the past maybe 24 hours or 48 hours. We have been not heard anything from Blessed Geza in the past maybe 4 or 5 days. And you spoke the other day about the vacuum that is in the opposition. And we have seen the likes of Job Scala, we have seen the likes of Nelson Chamisa pledging his allegiance by saying that things are going to happen very soon. But what can I say? It's a cryptic message which is sort of like pledging allegiance, but also trying to take advantage of the situation. What do you make of the opposition's response to the utterances by Geza and how they've handled this whole situation? What does this speak about the opposition in Zimbabwe?
I think when you're saying the opposition's response, you're talking about the likes of Jacob Scala and a few others who have commented on the matter.
Yes.
I think let me just maybe do a revisit of what, if you listen to the audio which was posted by Atenso TV, which is by Blessed Mklang.
Yes.
There is an audio of Comrade Knox,
Yes.
which he made a press statement in among which he said they are desiring that if the outcome to which they are desiring to work towards becomes successful, they want to make sure there is a national transitional authority that includes everyone. So whoever has been reacting in the opposition ranks I think they are reacting in that regard, that they think if this succeeds, as these guys, the war veterans are saying, they are going to be part of the National Transitional Authority. I think that is what is pushing these guys to react in whatever form they are reacting. And I cannot comment much on that. But yeah, I think that is what they are eyeing also towards. And if actually a National Transitional Authority comes to pass, I would really commend those guys and say they did an excellent job, because what Zimbabwe needs at the moment is unity of purpose. People just need a country that is working, a country that is developing. And if we actually create such a platform, you would realize that all the other popularity things, they don't matter in the lives of people. People are not so much concerned about politics. The general population in Zimbabwe and even in the world, they don't care what happens in the politics. They don't care who is ruling. What they care about is what they eat today and how they can survive tomorrow. Generally, that is what people want in the world at large, not just Zimbabwe. Yes.
All right, let's look at the developments that we have seen maybe in the last maybe probably 24 hours or 12 hours. We've seen some tankers, and this has been a discussion for the whole day in the CBD, and how people have responded to that issue of those tankers being in the CBD. In you trying to have a conversation with people, what has been the talk in in engaging with your friends and family that are at home? What are they talking about? What are they saying about this whole scenario in their eyes? What do you think? What were they saying when it comes to tankers on the road, people expecting another coup? What does it speak about our situation in Zimbabwe?
I would say whatever that happened today with those tankers, it shows that there is serious tensions in our country, and it shows that Zimbabwe is actually at a brink of a possible civil unrest, which will be backed by the military. Not to say that those that were in the road today were there to probably plot a coup. They are just speculations that even if I answer it today, it will be just a form of speculation that I'll be dishing out. There is no certainty on what is happening. I saw some others speculating that it's probably Mnangagwa who is trying to show power and say he still is the backing of the military. And I saw some others saying that is the Chwenga faction who are also trying to prove that whatever Geza has been saying is backing. Whatever the case, what happened today does not favor Mnangagwa, according to me. If it is actually Mnangagwa who brought those people out, those army out, he has proven a point to say there is actually a great faction of the army who are against him. If he actually did that, and if he actually did that, he probably increased the tension that is within the army to say they are going to actually strategize more and try to fight. Which, like I said, when I was answering this question you asked, it is there's a greater possibility that there's going to be a clash of two titans. There's going to be a clash of two camps in the army, and the greatest casualties, like I would say, is the general population of Zimbabwe, who are going to be in the midst of the crossfire and suffer the consequences. But whatever that happened today, there is no clear picture of what happened on the direction in which it is taking. If I was probably as anxious member, I would know much, but I'm not. I'm not part of the military as well, so what I can only say is speculate. But to say, in analyzing the situation that happened, which happened today, because there is no results which have been proven shown, I would say that generally.
You're speaking of being on a knife edge. I was listening to Tendai BT in conversation with Trevor, and he spoke of the same, that our nation is on a knife edge. If you look at one, the division that is one inside the ruling party, and then you look at the division that is inside the opposition ranks, and that speaks volumes of our what can I say, our predicament that we are in as a country. How do you think, as Zimbabwe, we should navigate around this? Do we need dialogue, or what kind of a, remedy do we need at this point in time?
You know, Tedab, it is right to say that our country is on a knife edge, and we are heading towards a serious collision that will create a lot of wounds for many people. And I think personally, I don't want it to stop. I actually want us to get to that point where we experience that collision. And people need to learn. We need to. The only way we can learn, even if I give you an example of a child that is growing, if a child that is starting to walk doesn't fall, they may not be able to experience enough to be able to walk faster. They need to start learning, move 1, 2 steps, fall, rise again, and fall, rise again. And generally, at the end, you have good experience out of it. We need to reach that point of a knife edge and fall out of it. And after that, we need to find each other and say, we are one people, we are one nation. Let's work together. Let us learn to work in our differences. Let us learn to achieve one thing, even though we may not agree on some other things. But let us have one vision that is, that is set to achieve the national goals for our nation without segregating a certain tribe, a certain nation within our nation, a certain race within our nation. That is the only way. We need to find unity. We need to work together. Uh, I think, like I said before, the unity government in 2009, 2013 was a great example to show that we can work together as a nation and achieve a goal. We actually can do that. And
All right,
I don't know what to say about that.
just to close, a final thought. Seeing as Chabangu has been fired, we just received this in now. What is your thoughts on that? Just maybe a quick one.
Those are just side shows. They are entities. They don't have any implications to whatever that is happening in the nation. And that opposition that is firing and hiring each other, they have no any relevance to speak of that we should be concerned about. There is no implication to his firing, or whatever that may happen does not change or affect anything. It's just an entity. That is what I can say. Chabangu is just an imposter who is there to push the agenda of Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. He has no implication actually on the general population of Zimbabwe. People don't even regard him as anything. I wouldn't want to even spend myself talking about Chabangu. It's nothing. It's just an entity.
All right, Elliot Kajume, our political analyst, thank you so much for joining us on this evening and giving
Thank
us.
you so much for having me today.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for having me today also, and have a great night.
All right.
Good night to all of you today.
All right. Thank you so much, brother.
Sure.
All right, that was Eliad Kajume giving us his thoughts, our political analyst on this show. Always a pleasure to have him. Now, let us come back to the story of Sengezo Chabangu, and then we finish off on what you think as the children of Zimbabwe. What do you make of the tankers on the road? Like what our political analyst has said, that either way, it does not work in Idi Mnangagwa's favor. It works against him if the tankers on the road, if there are what people are speculating that this is a flex of muscle from either of the side, whether from Idi Mnangagwa's side or from the VP Chwenga's camp, that also speaks. And what makes it to be even more interesting is the fact that I've seen George Charamba saying that our army, let me just go to his tweet to hear where he was talking about praising our army, putting that tweet up there. Let me just show you here. Donzamsoro. There you go. This is what he said. I just want to give you a context of what he said here earlier on. Right. Here is a tweet by the president spokesperson, a communications not spokesperson per se. Here is George Charamba. This is what he says. I don't know if you can see here. Support your Zimbabwe Defense Force as it goes through the routine of ensuring all its battle systems are in tip-top state. ZDF keeping you secure and defended. Right? Did you see that? That's what George Charamba has said. That's his other account. We know that he has got an account called Jamwanda, Donzamsoro, and George Charamba. So all these are his accounts. Now, he's, cryptically saying something is going on. So this is what is happening. But before we go to the next story, I want you to listen also to our viewer who also gave us his thoughts on what our president said a day before yesterday about the 2030 agenda. You are also welcome to send us your voice note on the numbers that is scrolling on the screen. Let us hear our viewer telling us what they think about the pronouncement by the president on the 2030 agenda. Here is what he said here. Right.
There is no truth in his statements. ED watoziwa he indicates left achinotena right. Hapana chokwadi ari kutrai kuzvihwanda kuti kana chikanzi chadhakwa chinhu ichi chinodhakwa achiti vanhu ndo vakanditi kana chikabudirira oza kuti ndatohwina. But chokwadi chaicho chaicho ndechekuti how come iwewe jefero kuti vanhu nezuro statement rake raakataura achingopedza kuritaura vanhu vatodzoka mustreet resocial media vachitaura no mudhara ari kuzviramba but tisi tiri kuda. Zvii zvaakambonyanya kuita zviri kunyanya kudiwa nevanhu. Anyanya kukoshei kupfuura vamwe vanhu vese. So it's all about extending his time yekuluta nekubira vanhu nekuuraya nyika. Ndo zvinongoripo chete.
Right. That is our viewer there saying that our president indicates left whilst he is turning right. That is another viewer. My thinking is, as I was saying, that this is a very, very crucial time in our life. Whether the three options that I gave was that it's either they want to re-strategize, or number two, they've had an interaction with the army, and the other thing is there is no way that they are going to abandon this, because people are, the likes of Douglas Mahia, they are infringing on our constitution, because for them to say just a small fraction of people inside ZANU-PF are saying we are sticking with the resolution number 1, whilst the rest of the country is not happy with this, let's do a referendum. Let's prove that the popularity of President Idi Mnangagwa can be tested without intimidating anyone. Let it be free and fair. Everyone, let's not get into a campaign mode. People, let them be asked, just like what happened with other referendums like Brexit. Let's get into it. If people can campaign using their social media and whatever, let them do it. But do not cajole us to say this is what the war nation wants. It's what you ZANU-PF few want. That's what I saw at what now they've even changed. They are now saying they are calling themselves persuaders. Woye. That's what Douglas Mahia was saying. Persuaders woye. It shows you that these guys, they are not going to stop. And if they are going to arrest Geza on undermining the office of the president, right? If they are seeking Blessed Geza on him undermining the office of the president or denigrating the president according to the constitution, they should do the same to these people, because the offices of the president, the president, has said, I'm not running for the third term. And you, as citizen, you are saying, we are going to make you run. Are you not infringing? Are you not undermining the office of the president? It's almost like in your house, you are the children in the house, and the father has said, we are not going to go kumunda. Chisi akuru apo kumusha. Baba votaura kuti handisi kuenda mangwana, hakusi kuendwa kumunda, magejo ese ngaagare pamba. And then mwana oti, inini ndiri mwana, I'm going to force you baba kuti mutiendese kumunda mangwana. Don't you think that is undermining the authority of the father? This is the same scenario. These people that are gallivanting all over Zimbabwe saying, Vamnanga Gwawanenge Waripo 2030, these people, they are now infringing, they are now undermining the office of the president. They need to be arrested. They need to be in the same dock with the Blessed Geza. They should be on the wanted list. Because if they are saying they want to force the president, which means that they want the president to break the constitution. The president has said, I'm not going to break the constitution. They are saying, we want to break it. Do you understand? They want to do undemocratic process. They are infringing on the rights of other people. That's undermining the office of the president. And when the president took the oath of office, this is what happens when the president takes the oath of office. He says, I will protect, right, the constitution from getting violated. Now, if the president has made a pronouncement, that should be final. And that should be, as you see, when they are doing statutory instruments, with the final example, when the president issues a statutory instrument, the statutory instrument of ZIG was issued by the president, and anyone who was found in violation of that statutory instrument was jailed. When the ZIG was introduced, if you say, andisukuda kutambira ZIG, waipinda pamawani. So that tells you that this is just a way of trying to hoodwink Zimbabweans. And I really think that these people, they are supposed to be arrested. All Varakashi who are speaking about Vamananga Gwanenge Wariko 2030, they must be arrested for undermining the office of the president. Simple and straightforward. They must be in the same dock. If they say Blessed Geza violated the office, the constitution by undermining the office of the president, the same must be done to the people that are speaking about the constitution amendment, because it outrevirs the constitution provision that says the president must serve 2 terms. It outrevirs on this oath of office that the president took, that he will protect the constitution. And these people, they are saying publicly that they can tear the constitution, which means that they are going to trample on the democratic process or on the democratic right. And we know that our constitution is the supreme law of the land. And these people, they are declaring publicly that the supreme law of the land is going to be torn. They are going to tear it apart and form their own, right? Which means that they want to turn our country into an anarchy. They want to turn our country into a banana republic. They are saying that the constitution does not work, which means that they are also saying that the president, we don't need him. We just need ZANU-PF. We don't need the president. This halabaloo and hogwash that is going, and the hubris that is going all around needs to be called to order. And if the constitution is followed to the letter, these people, they are supposed to be arrested by now. That is my view. It is your turn to tell us your view on our WhatsApp platform. Tell us what you think about the issue of the constitution. Please tell us what you think. And if you want to support JCTV Africa, the details are appearing on the screen. If you're in Zimbabwe, you can send us an inbox. Mukuru World Remit, you can do that in South Africa. In Zimbabwe, you can do that, so that we can continue to be broadcasting all this to you. You can actually support us by doing that. And you can get in touch with us if you want our account number. On the description box of this video on YouTube, you'll find also those details of how you can partner with us. That being said, thank you so much for joining us. And we also want to say our special thanks to our guest, Eliad Kajume. Please follow him on all his social media platforms, on his Twitter page. It's at Eliad Kajume there. That is his Twitter handle, so that you can see some of his perspective that he posts on Twitter X. Thank you so much for being part of the broadcast. I really appreciate everyone that has been participating by engaging or by watching this video, this live broadcast. I'll see you on the next video. It's bye for now.